Last time I covered the Dark Power Pro 13 with 1600 watts, and today we're going to take a look and do some overview of a power supply that was presented at Computex 2023. Now, I know I'm still going into that direction, mentioning the products from Computex, but they are now being released in those terms. So today we're going to talk about the power supply from BeQuiet. This is straight power 12,000 watts power supply, which is ATX 3.0 with full support for PCIe 5.0 GPUs. Now we're going to go through some details and specifications about this power supply and give you some ideas how this power supply is inaudible. What does that mean and how the fan works, which fan is it inside and what can it support, what connections does it have, and everything else you'll learn in this video. So let's check it out a bit more closely. As I forgot to mention in the intro, we are talking about 80 plus platinum certification and virtually inaudible operation. So this is 80 plus platinum efficiency with up to 93.9%. ATX 3.0 power supply with full support for PCIe 5.0 GPUs and GPUs with 6 plus 2-pin connectors. You actually have loads of them, so we'll get to that part later on. Handles massive power exertion. We have Silent Wings 135mm fan, and we'll get to the inaudible part quite soon. Then when we go further, we have funnel shaped fan openings on PSU case for higher airflow intake. Then we have full bridge LLC technology, one massive high performance 12V rail, Japanese 105 degrees Celsius capacitors, modular cable management. Of course, we can't expect anything less than modularity in these power supplies, and the outstanding part is 10-year manufacturer's warranty, which is outstanding. I don't recall if that many manufacturers actually give that much warranty for their power supplies, but BeQuiet does, and even without that, I would still recommend BeQuiet's power supplies. Because so far what I've learned from their power supplies and what I've tested in terms of using them in my builds and checking out everything that I managed to check out when we're talking about power supplies, they're actually quite durable and stable when it comes to power and current, so you'll be quite satisfied in all those terms using it for your high-end components. Now, I mentioned that the straight power 12,000 watts is an ATX 3.0 power supply, and it comes both with integrated 12V HPWR, and we have 4 6 plus 2 pin connectors to support the past gen, so RTX 2000 series, RTX 3000 series, and Radeon cards. So the only thing that you might be worried, and these are the cables right here, I think we have loads of those, but I'll do that separately, of course. This is the EPS cable, so we have two EPS cables, right? Let's see, this is the second one. So don't mistake the cables, because I did, and don't get me wrong, I didn't connect them. I was just, when I was separating the cables, I noticed that I have 5 PCI cables, which was really strange. But to be honest, the one that looks a bit strange at first glance is the EPS cable that is 8-pin, not 4+4. Regardless to that, you can notice the difference because it doesn't have that connection part in the plastic here on top for the 8-pin PCI Express cable, power cable. Then we have the 24-pin cable, and we have the 12V HPWR 600 watts cable that goes directly from the power supply to your graphic card. So if you don't have custom cables, you'll use one of these. But I was talking about something else, wall socket power. And here we go, this is the one that I was looking. So, two 8-pin PCI cables connected to one cable right here. But you don't have to worry, because when we check out the cables right here at the connection part, they are separated. So you could use them on RTX 3000 series or for your RTX 4000 series if you don't want to use the original 12V HPWR, if you have some sort of extension cables that go into 3 8-pins like I do, for instance. So these are separated powers, as you can see, because they have let's say 6+6, and each of the cable connections are divided into those segments. So you don't have to worry about that, and this is really cool because it lowers down the cable count right here and it lowers the connection part right here. So we have 10 connections right here. So we have 2 PCIe, these are the ones, 2 PCIe go to 4 connections. Then we have 12 VHPWR, we have 3 connections for the drives, which basically brings us to 3 cables. One is 4 SATA, 4 SATA connectors, right? Not 4 SATA, but 4 SATA connectors. Then we have another one which is 3 SATA connectors, which is quite alright. And the last one is 2 SATA and 2 Molex. You don't need more Molex cables because they can be daisy chain, not here, but usually when you get a connector for your pump or controllers or anything, usually they are daisy chainable. Let's put it that way. But regardless of that, we have 2 P8s, those are EPS connections, and we have one for the motherboard. In those terms, when we're talking about the power cables for your GPU, it makes this power supply actually quite nicely versatile and gives you choice how you're going to connect your GPU regardless of the PCIe or 12V HPWR. Now we have 1000 watts of continuous power over one massive 12V rail. Now what they also stated is even if the graphic card demands excessive power for a short time, Straight Power 12 handles power excursions up to double its rated power with ease, and this ensures reliable operations with the next-gen GPUs and processors. Inside we have Silent Wings 135mm fan, which has a unique optimized fan blade design and fluid dynamic bearing and 6-pole fan motor. Now the maximum speed is 2100 RPMs. At 10% load, the decibel noise is 7.7. 20% load, the decibel noise is 7.7. At 50% load, it's 8 decibels. And then when it reaches 100% load, or 100% when we're talking about the speed, 28.9. So I think at 50%, you're really good when we're talking about that. So with the full bridge LLC Straight Power 12,000 watts offers advanced technologies resulting in higher efficiency, better regulations and low ripple noise. When we're talking about the quality of the components inside, they stated they only used premium components, so this power supply has exclusively high quality Japanese capacitors for stability, reliability and long operation life. The length of the longest cable, I would say, is up to 100 centimeters. And of course, since we're talking about a modular power supply, what this gives you is, you already know, a nice cable management possibility, use only cables that you need and less cable clutter, because that prevents airflow, without a doubt, definitely in the power supply shroud compartment. Taking a look of the design, as I already mentioned, love the grille, love the funnel shape, because it looks quite cool. Regardless if you're going to see it or not, it really does look cool when we're talking about power supplies in general. The connections are really straightforward and they're quite easy to plug in and plug out. Usually some power supplies can be a bit tedious when we're talking about connection part, but regardless of that, that's alright. BeQuiet logo on the side, and that's all there is to it. You don't have any additional button for the silent fan because it regulates automatically depending on the load. We have power connector and on-off switch. That's all there is to it. So if you're looking for something that is much more affordable than Dark Power Pro 13, Straight Power Pro 12,000 watts really gets into that, I wouldn't say a lower segment, but in a lower segment compared to a Dark Power Pro, right? If you're still looking for 80 plus platinum certified power supply, and you don't want to spend too much money, but still you want to have, you know, that stability and confidence that it won't burn your PC. This might be a good solution for you guys, because even the size of it, this is 16 centimeters of length and it will fit in, I would say, 95% of the cases. But all in all, quite cool, quite nice power supply, definitely recommendations. So I'll give PC Crazy approved badge for this power supply, and it was running my build with, well, 7600X, but 4070 Ti, no problems whatsoever. So guys, if you want to check out this power supply, and this is something that you need when we're talking about, you don't want to spend too much money in terms of getting a quality power supply that will still deliver and power up your new generation or next generation components, but you still want to have reliability with 80 plus platinum even, fully modular, this is the way to go. So straight power 12,000 watts from BeQuiet, the link is in the description. And finally, at the end of the video, if you really like what you saw, don't forget to sub, like and hit the notification bell. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, bye bye.